What's happening, guys? I hope everyone is well. Today is the 9th of November 2022. I'm here with Josh. We've both been pretty busy. Both had a lot going on, and yeah, we thought we'd do a little podcast. Josh, how are you?
I'm good. Feel like I'm juggling a few different things, as we were saying earlier, but planning the wedding, as I'm getting married next August.
You're getting married, are you sure?
Yeah. Now I'm getting married.
You've not told me that.
Have I not told you that? And all the stuff that we've done, and like, well, there you go. Like, there you go. Alex's debut of knowing. Yeah, I'm getting married next August
Nice.
in York.
So who's gonna shoot your marriage? So Josh does a lot of like wedding videos.
Yeah.
You know,
That's predominantly like pretty much during the summer. That's what I shoot. But photography was easy because there's a girl that I know down south that I've met doing weddings.
Right.
But video was hard because all the lads that I know that do it, or like Jamie's my protege and stuff, they're guests at the wedding.
Right.
So that was a bit of a hard one to find the right person to do it like. But so I've been planning the wedding. Obviously the training for the white collar.
Yeah.
Which we can kind of talk about in a bit.
We'll go on to that, yeah.
And then just work in general, and then I've got a shoot that I've had to plan today where I'm doing like another doc. Obviously the Road to Leftway doc that I'm still kind of going back and forth to when I can. A documentary about Gaz Corrin, who's a Leftway fighter, so I'm hoping to finish that before the end of the year. But what about you? You've been on holidays, haven't you?
Yeah, doing a bit of travelling. Obviously I had my last fight end of October, and then since then me and Grace have been to Bologna in Italy, which is a bit of a weird one because Bologna's not really like a tourist attraction. So most people, when they go to Italy, they'll go Milan or Rome, places like that. What we did, the reason we wanted to go to Italy was because we love Italian food. That's the main reason, and we googled the best place to go for Italian food, and Bologna was supposed to be the capital of food. So we went there, and surprisingly enough, it was really nice. Like, although we didn't go for the tourist attraction, it surprised me how much how much history it had. Like, I think it had one of the oldest universities in Europe. The Pisa Tower, the Leaning Tower. It had their own one of them.
I remember you kind of saying you were on a bit of a roll at the moment, and obviously with Poland. And then you're going only going back to Paris. You've been to Paris before, but you're doing that next year.
Yeah. So obviously, so I went to Italy, came back, trained for a couple of weeks, and then we just went to Krakow, Poland. Another fantastic holiday. Really nice place, Krakow. Back again now, training, and then maybe we're going to try and fit Paris in again. Probably start of next month. We've been Paris before, and we loved it. It was a good city, and I feel like there was stuff that that we didn't do that we can do this time.
You went for a few days anyway, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, no. You went about a week, wasn't it? Actually.
No, we went for 4 nights, so 5 days. So it was plenty of time, but probably because there's so much to do in Paris. Like we didn't do the nightlife or nothing. We did all the sort of tourist attractions, but like apparently the nightlife is supposed to be dead good.
The clubs and stuff. I don't know. I remember being in Paris when I was a kid, but I've heard it's like expensive.
Yeah. Paris is expensive, so that'll be a shock going from Poland to Paris, because Poland is pretty cheap.
I've heard it's like €20 for a bottle of Coke, I think, in Paris. So that's like you're mad things
we went to a restaurant called Lulu's, and this is a recommendation for anybody who goes to Paris, near the Louvre Museum. It's sort of like attached to that. The best restaurant I have ever eaten. Had food in. So I don't mind, but it's so expensive. We got I think, to be fair, a Diet Coke, it weren't as bad as €20. I think it was like €7 or €8. And then the pasta each, it was just vodka pasta, and it was like it was the cheapest one on the menu as well, but it was €33 each. And they had some pastas on there, mate. It was about €100, and it's like, wow.
That's what you pay for people. People pay for like for steaks and stuff.
Yeah,
not pasta.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I need a few more fights until I can start affording £100 pastas.
Yeah. Well, if you ate plenty of carbs away, we kind of burnt it off recently. We went to Snowdon, didn't we? Which was actually originally a trip that me and I just said to you, do you fancy doing it? couple of months ago, I think it was,
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
maybe like around about that. And then I think it just sort of, and then we just thought, well, why don't we just ask the lads, a few lads to join us from the Eccles Boxing Club, and then like yeah, I think it was like 8 of us.
Ended up being 8 of us. Yeah, took 2 cars down, and we climbed Snowdon. Yeah, it was
Route 6 was it? Did I get that right over there?
Yeah, so it was miners track or miners path. What did you think of the path? I thought it was really good, to be fair.
Good. Well, is it out of 10 or 12?
It's out of 10.
10. So like, because I've been saying it's
No,
like
it's out of 8. Out of 8.
out of 8. So, oh right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we
So
did second to hardest then.
we did.
Like all that sort of
Oh
like.
yeah. So we did 6 out of 8.
Right. All right. Okay. That doesn't that. Because I actually thought it was 6 out of 10. I remember thinking, right, so we did like roughly around the half, like sort of like 50% hardest.
6 out of 8.
But yeah, 'cause I was saying to Lizzie at one point there was, if I got it on film, I'll overlap it now. But like there was one point where who said it like we're like fucking goats, where we had to sort of like a bit of a vertical steep thing that I'm thinking, well, this is like level 6 out of 10 or now 8. That was mad, but
Yeah.
Grace got a thing. How many like kilometers was it? It wasn't that low, but it was. I think because we were going high, it felt more.
Well, I'd say it was a good 10 miles, wasn't it?
So it's like 13, 14 kilometers. I think.
Yeah. And we did that in just under 5 hours, which I was buzzing because if you Google that miner's path, they say approximately it takes between 5 to 7 hours, to go up and down.
So we did it.
We did it in 4 hours 55, so we've just done it under. So, but I mean,
we stopped a few times.
Yeah, that's
loads.
what I mean. We stopped and we had food because obviously we took food out all day, so we had a little food stop offs. Yeah, it was a good experience.
Lee wanted to do a cold water dive, I think, or something.
Yeah,
he did a mini one.
Yeah, he put his knees in, didn't he? But because obviously it was awful weather, when we went, wasn't it? It was really cold, really wet. It started hailing, it weren't good weather whatsoever. And Lee did say, to be fair, when you go in that water, it's no colder than how we are climbing up. So
I'm not sure if I believe him on that.
We'll have to find out next time. I think we're going to do the 3 peaks, aren't we? For the next one. I reckon we do that in the summer, me.
Yeah.
It'd be nice doing it in the summer.
Well, that's why I even said if we were to, because when we were at the top, it's like when I saw that picture in the group after of what it's meant to look like, you meant to see like miles of beautiful land, and all we could see was 200 feet in front of us max.
Yeah.
Because it was just sleet, all the sort of like hail and fog, and it's like it was quite Lord of the Rings-esque kind of like like where the fuck are we, like somewhere in Middle Earth, but it definitely want to do it again, and I like the idea of it being like a tradition sort of thing of like. Going back, but either that one. But I know when we're going to do the 3 peaks at some point. But like that's the sort of thing that we did, where you could do it again in the summer and have a whole different experience.
Yeah, different experience completely. It'll be definitely changed. I'd advise if anyone does go and do Snowdon, it's important that you do prepare for it. Like it was funny when I feel like when we were sort of planning it, I think Lee gave me a bit of a wake up call because Lee was like, you do know it's not just a stroll, like it's not just a little Sunday stroll, this is a walk up a mountain. You need your walking boots, you need like layers, you need gloves and that and everything, and I went out and got everything, and thank God I did, because we seen people going up in trainers and a hoodie.
That girl with
literally there was this girl, she had a blue hoodie on and a pair of trainers, didn't she?
A Lucozade bottle.
Like someone had told her.
Pocket. I was like, is that your whole diet for the day?
Someone had told her, right, come on, we're going Trafford Centre, and took her to Snowdon. Bless her.
Yeah, she didn't look like, but she had a smile on her face actually. So fair play.
Must have been freezing, no?
She might have been a scouser and just like embraced the cold, like welcomes it. But yeah, no, it was mint, and I definitely want to do it again. And to be fair, we were just saying earlier, we didn't feel that done in the next day. It was more of just kind of resting a bit, but then not like allowing your body to go too much. I kept moving every now and again, stretching, just making sure it was just my calves, and that's what was killing me.
Yeah. See, I was very surprised because on the walk down, I was feeling my legs. I think, oh, my legs are a bit battered here, and then so I thought I'd be aching the next day, but I woke up Monday morning and my legs were fine. So straight back to the gym.
Yeah. No, it was good. Well, we'll definitely we'll do it again, and then obviously I've been mixing it with training, as in because I've been training for the white collar,
yeah.
which is I think I'm about more than 2/3 way through now.
26th you fight, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
only
yeah.
2 weeks on Saturday, yeah.
So
Yeah, I've been training Josh. Exciting times. I've been training you for a while now, haven't I? So it's about time you had a challenge, and you put the stuff that we've worked on into practice, into a fight. But how are you feeling for it?
I feel like I'm feeling what I am, that other lads doing it would feel, which is like a cocktail of feelings. It's like highs and sort of lows, and then sort of like good peaks, and then sort of moments where I'm just sort of like a bit like, well, am I doing enough? Because it's when you're doing like a white collar, obviously, it's you're not. You're going to get out of it as much as you put in. But then obviously along with life is that everything else that you're going to try and do, whether that be like studying or like running a business.
Learning a new language.
Yeah. Which we felt like we're all doing on the way drive down. But yeah, so it's just, yeah, I think that's the thing. I think I'm feeling what would be normal about now, you know what I mean? Like just that sort of a mixed array of and just trying to make sure I keep a hold of it and not overthink it, but then also not underthink it and then like slack off it or anything like that. So, but I every day I feel every day I'm like, what the fuck have I signed up for? But it's like, but then I'll be like, no, because there was a point where I kind of like there was a reason why I got asked to sort of do it, and because I was looking for that sort of. I was showing signs, wasn't I, at some point of like that I put in like the thing out there that I wanted to have a challenge from it. You know, it's one thing doing something, training for something, but then it's quite cool to have a platform to sort of showcase what you've like learned so far.
Yeah, I mean it's completely different being on the bags and on the pads, and then when you start getting into the sparring and the fights, it's another world, isn't it?
They don't hit back.
Yeah, well, that's it. The bags and pads don't hit back. Sometimes I do on the pads.
Yeah.
I think you know it's coming now, don't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a good experience for you, isn't it? You're delving into my world a little bit now, aren't you?
Well, I've said to you for the longest time that when I'm like, I want to do more and more documentaries. I want to work more and more with athletes and particularly fighters, and I feel like just obviously when you watch so much stuff anyway, you kind of hear the stuff like the analogies of that you drown in, and that you kind of the fight or flight moment, and just sort of like the discipline. But I feel like doing something like a camp and then doing like a white collar, and it's great for like charity month, but it's a good opportunity for me to like have a little bit more of a reality of when I am asking questions to a fighter or an athlete, that it's coming from a bit more of a sincere place, or even a bit more of a glimpse of a related place. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's it. 'Cause you filmed a lot, haven't you? Of combat sports, so for you to actually go and do it is something completely different. It'd be like me taking your camera and filming you on the night. It'd be completely different to me, and I'd have to learn. Obviously yours is a bit more extreme. Boxing can be a dangerous sport. So it's something that everyone will do. But you know what, it's one of them things where this is going to be an experience that will probably stick with you forever, and it'll be one of the best experiences you'll do, especially when you get your hand raised, at the end of it. All the work you've put into the mini camp that you've done, it'll all be worthwhile, and it'll be a great feeling.
And that's what I like. That's what I'm saying in terms of, that's what you got to kind of keep reminding yourself to focus on, because obviously the human brain is it's a complex thing. It's kind of like you tell yourself that you kind of how you think or how you want to think, but it can have its own sort of version of events, and like that's why I like sometimes I'll have good days and sort of bad days, in the sense of like just wanting to keep on track and be confident but not overconfident.
And it's amazing for me because like all the emotions you're going through and everything I see, I've been through it all, and so I can see it. And sometimes in training when it gets tough, and it's like I know you can get through it. It's like you just said a minute ago. It's a sort of sink or swim feeling, And boxing training is hard, and this is what I say to everyone. If it was easy, everyone would do it. And it's not easy, and it's all well and good watching it on the TV and thinking, I could do that. That looks okay. That looks easy. But when you get in there and someone's punching you, it's completely different.
I'm a firm believer as well that we are also living in a time where people, I'm not even say men, but just people can have this ride along with this self-belief in their head, or this sort of vision of how they'd handle a situation or how their body would handle a situation. And I've said, not even just in boxing, in all lines of combat sports, is that you can't lie when you're doing that sort of thing. You can't bullshit it.
No.
And then it's a good it's a good way of sort of ironing out your sort of ego, if you will, because it's like wherever in areas that when you vision like, oh, I'd hit, or I'd return in this way, or I'd react in this way. And it's when you're in these scenarios, whether it be sparring or even just in sort of general pad training or whatnot, you kind of go, oh shit, no, maybe. But then you can also have the opposite in terms of like there's some areas where I was a bit more surprised in myself that I've done good. But then there's certain areas where you kind of think, oh, you always envisioned. But that's all right. That's what I was gonna say. Is that we live in a time now where people can get away with shit and saying stuff and not getting like chat shit, get banned kind of vibe. But no, do you know what I mean? Like this, we live more in a time now where like everything's oversensitivity and where people are being oversensitive, and I'm not saying like violence is the answer or what's the sort of terminology, but like that kind of physical like conflict is always the answer. But I feel it's like the complete opposite of taking that away. We live like, that's what I'm saying, we live in a time now where I think people are just saying stuff and not having the repercussion of getting chinned for it. And then by doing that, the youth now growing up are kind of getting away with saying stuff and not getting a clip around the ear or a smack. And then like, just with soft times, that's why in that film I've got that kind of quote, I'm going to butcher it and I should know it off by heart, but like hard times create soft men create weak times. It's kind of like this resurgence sort of thing where society can get a bit soft, and then obviously, what does that do? It kind of creates like a soft sort of next generation, and then obviously we have to harden up again, and then we kind of like, we're so like, well, those times are so hard, I don't want that for my children, and then it kind of happens again and again and again.
Times are changing now, aren't they? 21st century.
That's it. What but you're training back. I know you're not in camp at the moment.
I'm not in camp at the moment, but I'm back training. The way I see it is, I'm always in camp. You know what I mean? Like I feel like some boxers will probably they'll train hardly. They'll spar very little. When they don't have a fight coming up. Whereas, and then when they get into camp, that'll be their camp. They'll up the training and they'll up the sparring. Whereas, I got back on Saturday, I climbed Snowdon on Sunday, and I've sparred the last 2 nights, and I've had someone come down sparring me on Monday night. And it's like, and I love it, because this is a phase now, this is a stage where I'm not going to be fighting till next year, so I don't need to be in an 8-week grueling camp or nothing just at the moment.
You just want to keep that consistency.
I can keep the sparring coming in, and I can learn. I can try stuff in sparring, and I love this bit because I don't have to be dead strict on my diet. I can enjoy myself a little bit. I can go away, and I can come back and do some more training and more sparring. But yeah, so now I'm just sort of ticking over, training hard still as ever, and just keeping up with it all. Like I say, I'll probably go away again next month, and then once I come back, keep training. Christmas, 1st of January, looks like I'll be going back into camp.
And with the sparring thing, is that something that even when you're like not even thinking that there's even going to be a fight on the table, do you still like doing that, or do you kind of give your mind and body a bit of a break?
No, I still do it. Yeah, even like I say, for example, with something crazy happens, like another bloody pandemic, and they go, right, there'll be no fights next year. And if I had that in my head that I won't be fighting next year, I'll still be sparring tomorrow. I just love doing it. It's I think every boxer can agree, sparring is probably the best part of training. It's the bit we enjoy the most. But yeah, I'll still be doing it because you learn stuff about yourself, don't you? You improve. You just find little bits that you can work on. Like I say, now this stage is like the learning, the learning process. Like I say, there's bits I can try. If it works, I'll carry it on.
With you like inspiring though, like when you're saying like boxing, like sparring's like one of the main bits that boxers like most. Was that the case from the get go with you, or was that kind of after you've maybe had a couple of fights and then kind of you learn so much and it's more of the place to sort of try and play with the stuff that you've learned, whereas when you kind of new to it, has that always been the case that you like sparring?
A bit of both. I get what you're saying. So really, for me, it was from the get go. Yeah. So obviously, when I came to Brian when I was 10, my second day with Brian, I was sparring, and yeah, it was literally from the get go. And then I had a fight when I was 12, so my first amateur fight. So that was 2 years later. So by that point, I had been sparring for I'd been sparring for 2 years. And then once, obviously, I started fighting, that's when, I started learning about myself. Brian started learning about how I am as a fighter, and that's then when we could tweak the sparring. And throughout my career with Brian, there's been loads of stuff where after fights he's like, right, we need to do this now in sparring, we need to do that in sparring, and obviously even still now, very important to reflect back on the fights, pick stuff out what we can be doing better, and then working on it in sparring, and that's what I'm doing now.
Do you self-record much of your sparring? 'Cause I'm quite on it in terms of I like recording
Yeah.
our sessions. Do you do much of that?
To be honest, no, I don't. I don't do that a lot. No, I probably should. I probably would learn a lot from it. But I suppose the way I see it as well is I have Brian there, to watch me.
He is almost the recording.
He is a
day of
recording.
it,
He's telling me, what I mean. I'd go more off what Brian says than what I watch. So if he's there watching me, then I'll just listen to what he's having to say. But so if for instance Brian wasn't there, then I'd like to get a recording just so I can see it back. Yeah.
Yeah, because I suppose I've got you a few times, haven't I? Where and then I suppose you've had the footage to look at, but you've not. But my original question was like, yeah, have you ever, like I do, where I get my phone out and you just sort of record the session. You might, but I suppose I'm only particularly doing that mainly because I'm so new to it all. Whereas, and I've got a lot more basics that I can quickly pick
Yeah.
out. Like in terms of that I should work on by watching myself. Where I'm sure when you hit a certain standard, but I just wonder if that ever sort of stopped, where you kind of think, well, but then I suppose you've answered the question with Brian. Is that kind of he does that basically?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is more important. So when you are new, and like you're doing a white collar like yourself, because like I say, yeah, you want to watch yourself. You want to see how you're getting on. You want to see where you can improve. And I mean, it's the same for me at the standard I'm at now. There's always something new that you can learn, you can find, and it's happened plenty of times where I've watched clips of myself sparring, and I thought, right, I need to do this, I need to do that. Look, this movement or that movement, and it's always beneficial. But I feel like I'm just not in the habit of getting the phone out and recording it. Or just a case of getting the gear on, get in there, listen to Brian. Pretty old school, probably.
Cool. Well, let's finish up on so with your next fight though. How much do you know about?
So I've been told that it's looking like it'll be February the 10th at Bowlers. It's not confirmed or nothing like that. I wouldn't say it's confirmed until I see my face on the poster. And then I'll put it out there on my social media and whatever. But yeah, you're looking at February the 10th.
Might got bowlers as well.
Might change. Yeah, like I say, I've been told Bowlers, but everything could change. Yeah. I'm gonna enter camp on the 1st of Jan, regardless of whenever it is. But yeah, I'm hoping so. February the 10th. It's a date for me to aim at anyway.
Does that mean you can have a decent Christmas
Well, that's
dinner?
it. Yeah, I can enjoy my Christmas. Enjoy a bit of Christmas dinner, yeah. and then pay for it when I get back in Jan.
Pay for it.
Answer the questions then.
Pay for it, nice one. All right, well, we'll do one closer to time then if you want, another one of these closer to your fight.
Definitely,
Give people an update of show a bit your training and whatnot.
We'll do a reaction video as well.
Yeah.
So, if anyone's still watching this far on, and you think I should do a reaction video, maybe me watching fights and reacting to it, leave it in the comments.
Suggestions as well.
Yeah, any suggestions of any videos you want to see me do, and we can get it done.
Yeah, nice one, dude.
Top one. Thanks for watching.
Cool.
Oh, nice one, Josh.